If you have to decide for an ERP system, then you might also know about the requirements for an ERP system. And specialized requirements might result from your process analysis, for example, so that you see what actually do you need regarding the functions to execute, regarding the data to input, and so on. And then there might be also general requirements, which are depicted here. Let's discuss them quickly. Usually you would have an ERP system with a client-server infrastructure. That means that you have a central server and clients which access the information on the server. The client might rely on a web-based UI, or the client might rely on a specialized UI. In SAP, you have both. Maybe if you think about SAP, then then you might have a web-based access method, or you might also have the Windows program, which is an SAP client and which supports the connection to the server. An ERP system should be independent from the hardware. So you actually should not rely on any hardware from manufacturer XY. It should be executable on different hardware and even different operating systems, so that you not are tied to one of these underlying systems too closely. An ERP system should support a modular setup. What does it mean? Of course, it's nice to have modules such that you can build your things together, but what would you? Why would you do it? You would do it because each module induces some costs for buying this module, and then as the customer of such an ERP system producer, you would choose only the modules which are important for your company. And that's why you would require a modular setup. You would only choose the modules which you analyzed before are important for running your business. Maybe you neglect some modules which you already have in a subsystem running, and that's why you need this modular setup to be able for selecting only the appropriate modules. You might have different applications working with this ERP system or working within these ERP system if you talk about modules. And then you should have one classification system which is valid on different applications. Classification system, for example, describing a certain set of human resources data, and then these information are important for the core application, and maybe also for other satellite systems which somehow relied on the HR system delivering some information for these satellite systems. Mostly an ERP system relies on one database, one central database to have all data integrated in it. There might be scenarios, practical scenarios, where in really large companies you would use several databases, maybe different databases for for different departments. Usually in small and medium enterprises, that's what the most companies are in Germany and worldwide. You use only one database. This is then enough for recording all the data in a general way. If you think about going to other countries, then it's important to be prepared for internationalization with such an ERP system. What does going to another country mean? It means that in the other country, you might have customers talking a different language. So you might be prepared to talk to your customers via the ERP system in this different language. Maybe if you provide forms for the customers, then they need to be in a different language as well. Of course, it's not only about the customers, it's also about the employees. Employees then should be able to work in their native language in the other country as well. Internationalization also means that currencies might be different in other countries, or that maybe number systems like the dot and the comma might be signed in a different way, or there might be even different governmental regulations which are important for the internationalization. So all these aspects contribute to the preparation for the internationalization. Depending on the ERP system manufacturer, these aspects are more or less contained already in the ERP system, and then you might decide if it's very important for you, then you should rely on an established ERP system manufacturer, or if you don't care about that internationalization, then you might also live with a weaker internationalization, maybe only the translational aspects into the other language. You need a user interface for your ERP system. Nowadays, it's mostly graphical. It's standardized across the entire ERP system. Standardized, it's actually with the new web technologies, it's not that valid anymore. Standardized then means that more the behavior of the user interface, the usage aspects are standardized. So maybe colors, maybe the semantics of buttons, maybe the semantics of different terms. That's what is meant with standardizing the user interface. And you might also think about supporting the processes, supporting the business execution with mobile devices. This is also an aspect of the user interface. So being able to bring the user interface to a mobile device might be also important, an important aspect for your requirements in an ERP system. Integration is important. So as said before, integration is putting something bigger together from subsystems, and that means that an ERP system might be the only system in a company. Then it should be able to fulfill all functionalities in an integrated way, or it should be possible to work together with other software components from different manufacturers, from different software manufacturers. Then you need some integration tools to suck data out of other systems or provide other systems the data they need. And this finally also leads to interfaces for import and export, depending on the data you need or data in your module, or depending on the data the other modules need for their functionality. And the last two aspects, customizing and custom programming, this refers to adaptability of the ERP system. So mostly it's the case that an ERP system might have many functionalities which fit to your company, but mostly there are some process aspects, maybe some activities which need to be adapted to your processes, to your special needs, to your best practices you do in your company, and then you require customizing or custom programming, and this means that you have some technical possibilities to change the ERP system such that it matches to your requirements. In matching requirements in each detailed functionality of the entire ERP system.